Hey everyone, welcome to my studio. For the next little while, I will be focusing on this design of Moses, making it into a mosaic. So here is where my next mosaic is going, right here. But there's room for two other mosaics, and I have completed and installed this one with Moses striking the rock, as well as this one of baby Moses being pulled from the Nile River. Let me show you where I'm at. Here we go. I've just finished the rocks and the stormy clouds, and I was waiting for glass to come in to do the ground. So this week I'm going to start tackling the ground. It's quite a bit of square footage, but really I only have the ground, the sky, and the water left. I'm really, really looking forward to this water. So I'm going to wait and do the water last. It's going to be like the reward for getting the ground done and the sky done. This week, the ground, not sure how far I'll get because there's a lot of ground, but we'll see. Let me get after it. There are not a whole lot of details in the ground, just these few cracks and a little bit of grass. In fact, that's the only grass. So I'm going to show how I cut these long skinny pieces for the cracks. I'm starting with black. I have one side that's textured and one side that's smooth. So I want to make sure I hit up this textured side. And I cut a medium long piece. And then, of course, the easiest way to cut this is to cut it in half. So I start by cutting it in half. And then I don't want it to be cut in half evenly. I want it to be all crooked like these cracks are, and a little bit more natural. So I'm almost done with all of them. I have this little bit here, and there might be a little bit down here. This I think I'm gonna transition to brown. And this one's shorter than what I've got going on here, but I do need to make one that comes down to here. So at this point, I take it and I go ahead and cut it in half, but I'm actually hoping that it won't cut straight, and usually it does not. Perfect. A little bit of a crook there. So then I just go ahead and emphasize that crook by cutting it down, and it's still a little bit too fat. So I kind of make sure it's going to fit somewhere. Looks good. So to connect these two pieces, I need to cut the edge off down here at an angle, so they can kind of meet up like that. It's still a little bit fatter than I'd like, especially on this end, so I'm just going to nip it. Now it fits, but I don't want it to end on this thicker part, so I want that to come to a point. So I'm going to nip that down. That's good. That's all there is to it. Talk tools for a minute. I am doing most of my nipping with these Lepinette nippers. So I had an old pair of Lepinets. In fact, that old pair is right here. And you'll notice that the spring is out. And one reason that the spring is out is because there is a stop right here that prevents these from opening further than this. And on this trusty old pair, my stop broke off. So I need to get a screw or something and put it in there so that I can use these again. So I'm not ready to discard these because this is my trusty pair that I kind of started with, and I just love them. So these aren't going anywhere, but they need repair. In the meantime, I have this other pair of Lepinettes that I'm using that does have a stop and the spring, and it's all good to go. So these are the ones I'm using, as well as I like very, very pointy tweezers. So these are the tweezers. I don't know what they're called. I bought them on Amazon. And then this super great tool, which is called a mini crowbar, and it's available on Amazon as well. I think it comes in an 8-pack or something, but I use this every day, usually to pull away any excess thinset that may squish out from underneath, so that when I go to put the next piece on, there's not too much thinset there. Now, I do want to talk for just a minute about some other nippers. Hold on. Here they are. First, I've got the Britas. Wonderful nipper here. So ergonomic and lightweight and incredible. And I love the numbering system that they have, so that when you turn the wheels, you can keep track of it. So fantastic. Then I also got the next hot one, which was QEPs. Fantastic as well. I like this 1, 2, 3 system of how far the handle opens. That's pretty nifty. And then last of all, the C-bells. So yes, I have these. Yes, I've tried them. Yes, they're all wonderful. I prefer my Lepinets because I have better control. I think one thing about all these is that they are pretty chunky up here, and sometimes that gets in the way of what I'm doing, and I can't see as well, or I can't cut as well. These are all great when I'm cutting a lot of pieces, like an inventory, but for this project, I'm not really cutting an inventory. I'm cutting them one at a time to fit. So I'm gonna stick with my Lepinets for now. Occasionally, if my hand gets tired, I do switch to one of these. Also, I have developed quite a callus on my finger here from the Lepinets, but it's all good. I'm gonna keep using the Lepinets because they're working for me. And these are all wonderful, and I do use them, just not as much as I've been using my Lepinets. That's it, thanks. And it's just personal preference. working down this way and working up this way at the same time. And now I've got to plan for what is left in here. So when I take one of these down here, it's a little more than 2 down here. And right here, it's clearly 3. It lists a little more than 3. So these 2, there we go. So I think I can continue these 2 down, and this one gets really skinny. And then at some point, maybe there's a fatter one here that combines the 2, move to 1 down here somewhere. So I'll have 1 row here, and then this will be 2 that will go down to 1. That's my plan. This part of the ground, I'm off to a good start. And I will say that the trickiest part about this was having enough contrast between the elements that were already here and the background so that it would read. For instance, between this rock in the background, between Moses and the background. So that's why I went quite dark right here, which wasn't too hard to do because this is pretty light. But on this side, I've got this mid-tone. And so I'm going to have to go either much, much darker or much, much lighter in order for you to see this. And I think I'm going to probably go darker. And then it's going to transition into some of the lighter colors so that you can see these elements. Also, between the water and the ground, there is a bit of a shadow. So I can go really dark along the edge there. And underneath these rocks, I like to go quite dark, just kind of to show that give them some weight and have a bit of shadow there. I have these cracks to do, but I'm going to start over here right against this, trying to create that contrast so that Moses stands out and I can see him. And going dark seems to be the way to go. So this side will have to go quite a bit darker because this is a medium tone. That's it. I'm so happy with the progress. I've gotten a lot of it done. I just have that much more over there. And I'll tackle that next week. Maybe I'll even get to the sky. And then the part I've really been looking forward to, the water. I'm going to put gold in the water, so I can't wait for that. That's a pretty big chunk of over there of real estate, but yep,
Looking good.
That's putting it together. Thanks for watching. See you next time.